resilience mindset. Hopefully that you stick around for the next few minutes. Stay vigilant. Sampai jumpa. Hasta mañana. Terima kasih untuk waktu Anda mendengar dan melihat ini. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And this is Nicky there. Stay safe and stay vigilant. Adversity is part of life, okay? Adversity is part of life. With the current disruption, millions of people around the world are facing adversity. I mean, in so many ways, so many types of adversity: financial adversity, emotional adversity, mental adversity, social adversity, spiritual adversity are all rampant amidst of this whole pandemic. One of the greatest gifts of adversity is learning and perfecting the skill of resilience. Without obstacles, we never would know the truth of the meaning of success or feel the exaltation of triumph. One of my favorite mantras based on my personal journey, and it's written on my earlier book called The Audacity of Veracity. Hai, apa kabar kalian semua? ¿Cómo allez-vous? Buenos días. ¿Cómo están ustedes? Terima kasih untuk mendengar dan melihat untuk saya kali ini. Thank you for choosing to be here with me. Another snippet motivational gem that I would love to share with you all right now. Adversity is a gift because it helps us to challenge and extend ourselves beyond the limits we normally set. It is through adversity that we have the ability to develop our self-awareness, patience, resilience, knowledge, and strong relationships needed to help us continue to navigate life successfully. Managing adversity, I want to talk about the resilience mindset. Resilience speaks to how well we are able to recover from the challenges, the adversities, and hardships that we face in life. As it turns out, facing and overcoming adversity helps us to build that resilience. And that's why I want to call it a resilience mindset. 5 reasons adversity is your greatest gift in life. Adversity is defined by dictionary.com as a condition marked by misfortune, calamity, or distress. While no one enjoys experiencing adverse circumstances, obviously, adversity can play a significant role in personal growth and development by aiding the generation of critical skills and knowledge. So in this way, adversity can prove to be one of the greatest gifts, and learning to embrace it can result in several benefits. In my book, The Audacity of Veracity, I chronicle my deep personal reflections and experiences through my life's joys and personal struggles. And I've opened up on that in that book, confronted by some unprecedented disasters and some of the tragic loss of my father, who died at such an early age, who happened to be my mentor. Trying to sustain my entrepreneur consulting business in my early 20s also at the time, failed marriage, and just my personal struggles in keeping a volatile relationship and dysfunctional family. Confronted by some of unprecedented disasters, the tragic loss of my father, who died at such an early age, who happened to be my mentor, trying to sustain my entrepreneur consulting business at the time in my early 20s, failed marriage, and my personal struggles basically in keeping a volatile relationship and dysfunctional family at the time. and now. And I was told I was and I will never be good enough in life. So, came to a conclusion, life is 10% what happened to you, 90% is how you respond and react. There were many other life turning points in my life at the time, and still a journey, by the way. Life journey is never ending and requires you to always constantly learning. And it's like driving your car to a destination, the journey in between point A to point B, and never be a destination, right? It's a process. We never get the memo. We never get that roadmap, from years in being in school, obviously, we have to learn it in the real world what it is, right? Though we know how to calculate arithmetics, how many rivers crossing our paths, right, in which cities and stuff, depending where we are geographically. And the roadmap is derived from our own experiences, the life lessons. Some would call this failures or mistakes. I mean, I'll call them life lessons. We learn through those mistakes. We learn through them, right? We get up again. Without them, we won't learn. The same concept of staying in one place, some sort of like in a comfort zone, or be stuck or paralyzed from your difficult circumstances, challenges. How can you learn anything new if you don't move yourself around and then, try to keep up and challenge yourself, right? Yes, adversity is part of life. Everyone has them. It's how we respond and react through, manifesting ourselves, becoming the best person in us every day, by the way. We're all humans with emotional connection. We're all counterintuitive and insightful beings with the understanding that, the brain, our central processing unit, CPU, we call it, controls our reaction to negative or positive stimuli, triggering our feelings, what condition us of either joy, optimism, happy, anger, depression, stress, and other things in our daily lives, I think personally, with our current state of the world, we have lost some of those touches. We need to go back to basics, to simplicity, to ourselves, to our very meaning of life. Questions like, why are we here in this world? What is the purpose of my life? These are questions that we should need to reflect at times of adversity, in times of crisis, chaos, uncertainties in the world that we live in. Okay. I want to talk about self-awareness. It's a huge thing right now, right? And has been, should be. Self-awareness is a conscious knowledge of one's own feelings, motives, and desires. Facing misfortune and calamity creates opportunities for individuals to reflect on how we would feel more often when things in life tend to be more stable and less chaotic, right? There's something about adversity that generally causes people to become more in tune with how they feel, what they want, and what might be the driving force behind their actions or responses, reaction to a given situation. There's also time to examine what previously taken actions or decisions may have contributed to the current negative outcome or situation. It's called like being grounded by yourself, right? It is a process of reflection during a calamity that makes the practice of reflection, self-reflection, become more natural and habitual. Eventually, it is something that can be implemented, not just during times of adversity, it's a natural thing then, but even during times of stability. It is through the process of continual reflection and subsequent improvement, continuous improvement and adjustment that growth can be achieved. That's what we call continue your daily habits, and that's important ingredient also. Patience. Adversity plays a critical role in building patience. Typically, when we face adversity, it is not quick and in a hurry, right? So going through hardships that tend to be prolonged teaches individuals how to endure during hardships that may not be quick to cease. We learn how to gain self-control over our emotions and responses as we wait for the adversity to pass. a storm passing. This helps us develop patience so that we can navigate hardships in the future. So we learn from that too. Resilience. I think I mentioned this a little bit. Resilience speaks to how well we are able to recover from these challenges, right, and hardships that we face in life. And it turned out facing and overcoming adversity really actually helps us to build that resilience. I always say that, it is the anchor of your everything, of your mindset and everything, right? There's also, I want to mention before I forget, some studies out there that were asked to list troubling events such as divorce, loss, natural disasters that occur before, like a survey began. There's a survey, and they also reported that on adverse events that happened during the survey period. The results of that particular study showed that those who had previously endured hardships were happier afterward. Okay, I want to move on. Relationships. During times of adversity, people often realize they need support, right? Support system is huge, and assistance of others in order to make it through those tough times, troubled times. While adversity can certainly put a strain on many relationships, people often find that adversity actually creates a foundation, a base for relationships to be strengthened as well. And I want to talk about that particular topic very soon in a different separate video. When things are not going well, people typically have to come together to pull ideas, right? Resources, strengths, and etc. as a means of helping them overcome the obstacle. This process forces people to communicate, be vulnerable, be transparent, and offer support for others in a way that ultimately enhances the nature and strength of the overall relationships. Networking also is great, all of the social media, professional, obviously. Knowledge. Facing challenges and adversity provides the chance for individuals to gain information and skills. When faced with hardship, we often have a problem solved as a means of overcoming adversity. This means doing the work of, trying to find out the problems, consulting the resources, and analyze possible solutions, and select and implement options. This process not only helps people to learn to address the issue at hand, but it also helps with skills development that can be applied to future situations, such as problem-solving skills, analytical skills, thinking, research skills, and many others. I think I mentioned this in my earlier video as well. Adversity is a gift because it helps us, to challenge ourselves, to extend ourselves beyond the limits we normally set, right? It is through adversity that we have the ability to develop our self-awareness, our patience, our resilience, of course, our mindset and knowledge, and, to be able to build strong relationships needed to help us to continue to navigate life successfully. All right, guys, if you're still here watching this, thank you so much for choosing to be here with me. Managing adversity, the resilience mindset. I think I want to touch on base on this one. It's very important in order to move from a place of simply surviving in life to a place of thriving. Resilience is a necessary trait. At a basic level, resilience is our ability to bounce back from those tragedies and difficulties we encountered in life, right? At a more complex level, the resilience mindset embraces the idea that true resilience is our ability to navigate life, adapt to change, and learn through adversity, and understand our feelings and emotional responses to situations. So in order for this to be achieved, there must be a high level of personal awareness that we talked about already, and insight which leads to a deep understanding of self. That's when self-awareness comes in, right? Resilience is an asset when it comes to managing adversity because it helps us to overcome it. Rather than crumbling under pressure and weight of every challenge we encounter, we become able to assess the challenge and learn and grow from it as we go through it. And then we move forward with the lessons, the life lessons that we've been taught. It is resilience that empowers us to continue moving forward, learning and growing and building on the things we are learning in life. Keys to developing a resilient mindset. I want to share this with you. In order to develop a resilient mindset, there are several qualities and practices that can be implemented. Very simple. And I'm going to share you with this. The following outlines several of those qualities and practices, their relation to the development of resilience. Okay. Optimism. Boy, do we need this times like this, right? A strong trait of those with a resilient mindset is an intentional, optimistic outlook when approaching challenging situations. The way a person views a situation shapes the approach they take when dealing with the situation. A resilient mindset. A more positive outlook trends to come to a more positive outcome because individuals see opportunities as opposed to obstacles, and thus enthusiastical address issues versus hesitantly avoiding them. Do you see the difference? So optimism is linked to resilience in that it helps people's views on permanence, pervasiveness, and the personalization of hardships. So optimism leads people to see bad events as temporary rather than permanent, to prevent setbacks from impacting unrelated areas of their lives, and to not blame themselves or even others when bad events occur. So people can better pivot and recover from challenges they experience. All right, next one here. Focus on what you can control. Learning to focus on what is within your control and releasing those things that are not is an important part of developing resilience. It is only those things within our control we have the ability to influence. So exerting physical or even mental as well as emotional energy on things outside our control is mismanagement of time and energy. So those who spend their time and energy on what they can control become more resilient because they put their efforts towards those things that will have the greatest impact and produce the most results effectively. This also allows them to actually be effective and respond better to situations that arise because we have the blueprint already, right? Called experiences. Self-awareness, I have touched base on that already earlier, is very critical to the development of a resilient mindset. It helps us assess areas of ourselves and our lives where we need to improve and areas of our lives that are producing favorable results on our side, on our part, right? So self-awareness offers us key insights about ourselves that we can use to change, to adapt, to grow, alter ourselves, our environment, or other elements, our direct element. This ultimately contributes to resilience by helping us keep patterns and habits that help us adapt and respond to challenges while becoming aware of, and we purge patterns and habits that work against our goals and pursuits. Okay, so if we can cultivate a resilient mindset, our ability to cope with challenges in our lives will be so more powerful, will be more strengthened. Rather than being overcome by negative situations and circumstances, we'll become more empowered to overcome those, circumstances, situations. So by implementing the practices mentioned earlier and others like it, we'll be one step closer to better navigating the difficulties that we face and we encounter. Okay, that's all for me for right now. I will add more related content to resilient mindset in my next video. I think I like this topic a lot, and hopefully you do too. But in the meantime, I had put together a 6-part e-course on this topic. You might want to check out. It's really, really cool. And I'll provide a link that will give you more information how to get to it and yet put into action today. Please, please, please. First of all, I think there's going to be a link somewhere here in this video. Okay. But please, 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 if you are watching this on my YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? Smash the button. It's going to be on this side, I believe, the red button somewhere there. Subscribe, like, comment below. Love to hear your feedback and love to hear your insights. All right, guys, until next time, please do take best care of yourself and your loved ones. Stay safe, stay vigilant. Sampai jumpa. Hasta mañana. Terima kasih untuk waktu Anda mendengar dan melihat ini. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And this is Nicky. Stay safe and stay vigilant. Bye.